So Mulan is not doing very good. This is really bad for Disney. I haven't talked about this movie very much, but there are some things that I do want to touch on in this video. This movie is not doing very well. Disney, I feel like they had a lot of hopes for this movie, by the way, because what else do they have? I think like the only other movie they're banking on right now is Black Widow from Marvel. And who knows when they're even going to release that. I'll be shocked if they don't just put it on Disney Plus like they did this one and charge people $30 for it. But anyway, the main thing I want to talk about with Mulan is its relation to the CCP. Because Mulan is a movie about how much Hollywood needs China, to be honest. Disney really went all out to make this film happen. And what's funny about this is a lot of the stuff that they did, there's a lot of speculation that they shot this movie in, we'll just say, re-education camps. It's a lot of crazy stuff. And the reason I really want to talk about this is because of some stuff that Judd Apatow brought up. It's really nice when people speak out on this stuff. So I want to highlight it, but I wanted to show you this as an example of Hollywood just kind of going all out to appease the CCP. I mean, they do it quite a bit. So much so that, I mean, not just Disney, other labels, other studios, they'll go out of their way to make sure movies can get in over at China. I've highlighted this a million times. There's that scene in The Force Awakens, or not the scene, the posters where they took John Boyega and they shrunk him down. You've got scenes in certain movies where they'll raise up the Chinese flag, actually, and they'll put it up like it's an important piece in the movie. They'll censor things out when they move it over there. And always be aware, when they're making these movies, they will tailor them before they're even made to make sure that it's easy to move these over to China. So they're not just censoring and editing movies out. They're making movies all the way from the pre-production stage to make sure that they are an easy fit for China, which is a really bad thing, to be honest. Like, it's not good, and it's kind of destroying a lot of critical discussion. You can't have a lot of discussions about China. You can't be negative to China. You can't say anything bad about them. Speaking of Mulan, by the way, the movie did really bad in China. Actually ended up bombing over there. I almost was going to make a whole video on that, but I just thought we would laugh at it real quick. Another good example of kind of bending the knee for China is this. So John Boyega ended up walking away from this Joe Malone ambassador role. So he was making commercials with this perfume cologne. I don't know what they are. I've never heard of this company. I didn't even know he was doing this. And he made this commercial. And for the Chinese commercial, they ended up completely remaking it shot for shot with an actor from their country. And he got upset about this, reasonably so, and quit. I thought that was kind of funny. It's just a good example of what companies would do. And I don't even think they told him about this. So anyway, this leads us to the main discussion that I wanted to have, which is Judd Apatow speaking out about this stuff. And I got to tell you, it's crazy when someone does this in Hollywood, because I got to be honest, this is career-ending stuff. All right. Hollywood goes out of their way to kind of bend the knee and make Beijing happy. They go out of their way to do it, and that's really undeniable. So it was really weird to see him saying this, because usually people like this don't say anything, and this probably means he's maybe thinking about going independent and walking away from a lot of stuff, which could be the case, because you just don't hear people speak out about this. But I do respect it. I respect it when people will come out and put their careers on the line like this, because you just don't see it that often. So regardless of how I feel about his recent movies, they're not very good, I do respect the man coming out and speaking up on this stuff, because people won't listen until others in the system come out and say stuff. So here's what he had to say. So the Daily Mail captured this. This was off of a MSNBC interview that he did. Apatow told MSNBC that he is worried about a corporate type of censorship that people really don't notice, which is a lot of these giant corporate entities have businesses with countries around the world, Saudi Arabia or China, and they're not just going to criticize them, and they're not going to let their shows criticize them, or they're not going to air documentaries that go deep into truthful areas because they just make so much money. He added that what is much scarier is how they have just completely shut down critical content about human rights abuses in China. Apatow has recently been outspoken on social media about Chinese human rights against certain groups in China. And if you want to, you can read it right there. It is shameful that no U.S. companies and very few politicians speak up about the, air quotes, re-education camps in China. The United States has abandoned the world when it comes to human rights. Apatow brought up a hypothetical pitch for a movie in which someone from one of those re-education centers would try to escape. So if they were trying to get out and run, that pitch wouldn't be bought. None of the studios would buy that. Say, I want to write a movie about someone who escapes. No one would buy that pitch. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. They bring up the Top Gun example here. Look at this flag. So this tweet highlights this. You originally had the Taiwan flag and the Japanese flags. Those were removed. Got to get rid of those. You can see them here on the right, how they took them out. Isn't that messed up? So it's nice to see somebody actually speak out about this stuff because it doesn't happen too much. And I would hope to see more people speak out about it. I know a few politicians have. I'm sure he's kind of trying to toe the line there with some of the stuff he said because you don't want to go full orange man or then you'll be completely canceled. Right now he can kind of keep some of the media outlets on its side. But I know some politicians have. Ted Cruz has passed he's tried to push some bills to make it so Hollywood doesn't get any money from the government if they pull this kind of stuff like Top Gun did, and is calling for a lot of changes when it comes to movies that are going to go over to China and making sure that they don't do stuff like this. But I think it's too late. They have a lot of money invested into Hollywood studios right now, so much so that I don't think, unless it's like a new studio or something, you're not going to see any changes anytime soon. But the more awareness that can be brought to it is maybe we can make some kind of changes. But I don't know. I don't know what you do in this situation. I just like that people actually speak up about it a little bit. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on all this. What do you think? How do we change this? How do we get Hollywood to actually have some integrity? What am I saying? That's not going to happen. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Throw a like up. Share the video. Please share the video. That actually helps a lot, by the way. Also, make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.